Let's talk Chicago Bears. There's been a
Oh,
lot of
Jesus
reports.
Christ.
A lot of reports that the offense, Caleb
Ben is
Williams
getting in it.
and Luther Burden are having issues learning the offensive scheme. Caleb has struggled. He's gotten taken out as a starter. Burden came back after missing time because he was injured. And instead of trying to get Burden corrected, he said, no, fuck that. You can go sit on the sideline and watch. So are we overreacting, is the media overreacting to the offensive struggles year one with Ben Johnson, by the way, or is it warranted where the Bears should be talked about right now?
All About the Balls podcast
With Mark Davis, Chris Meinhardt, Luke Rule, Jake Winnikine, Alan Tomasella, and Nick the Doc Skirkle. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to All About the Balls podcast. I'm Mark Davis, joined alongside my good friend, my brother in arms, Chris Meinhardt. Chris, it is July 30th. We're just days away from being August, which means we are days away from it being college football season and then NFL season. So how are you doing, my friend?
Mark, like we talked about it back in the back lobby, I'm getting the itch. I mean, we have training camp started, college fall camp started. So Twitter is full of LSU stuff at fall camp. So, I mean, hey, not going to lie to you. I went on the YouTube a little bit and watched some highlights. Getting the itch bad.
I am itching, Doc. I hope you're itching. You know, you just joined us here. We are literally, like I said, July 30th. That's the night we're recording this. So it'll come out. The Hall of Fame game's tomorrow. This will be dropped during the Hall of Fame game probably. So, Doc, how have you been, man? It's been a while since you've been in here.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Work schedule finally seems like it's going back to somewhat normal for the role that I'm in. So hoping to be back here, on a regular basis.
Heck yeah, I'm doing great too. I mean, minus the surgery I'm getting in less than 1 month, I am excited. I'll be getting surgery on the first official Thursday of college football. We have 0 week, of course, but the night UCF and Jack State plays, Chris, I'll be all drugged up for that game. Hopefully, you don't have to remember it. Hopefully, I'm really drugged up. But no, I mean, training camp started. Hall of Fame games tomorrow. There's some big names playing tomorrow night. Not sure how long, but guys, let's just jump in. This is going to be literally a kind of like a roundup of what's going on in training camp, a little fantasy football advice and tips, because it is getting that time of the year where we're going to be drafting. We have a draft August 24th on Sunday night. We're doing a live draft. We're going to have a live episode for that. Hope you guys are ready for that. Hope you guys have been taking notes.
Oh, yeah. Ready to go.
Well, let's jump into two of the biggest names, two of the biggest talked about names from the Cincinnati Bengals and the Washington Commanders. Trey Hendrickson and Terry McLaurin officially opted to hold in, which means they'll be in training camp. They will be on the sideline doing their own thing. Actually, Terry McLaurin is on the PUP list because of an ankle injury. I believe that's because of the money he hasn't got paid yet. I guarantee if he was paid, the ankle wouldn't be an issue. So, guys, let's start with Trey Hendrickson. Do we expect the deal to be done before the 2025 season officially kicks off?
I think it's going to be done. I mean, reports coming out that the deal's already agreed upon. It's just how much guaranteed money is going to be paid out. So, I mean, they both agree on the amount. The Bengals agree how much they're going to pay him. So, I mean, that's all good signs. It's good signs that he's showing up to camp. It's just about the guaranteed, and I think they'll work it out.
Yeah, the per year and the length of years, Doc, is not really an issue with Trey Hendrickson. Like Chris said, it's the guaranteed money. I believe it gets done probably like maybe the couple weeks before. He might miss preseason, of course, but at least he's there. At least he's on the sideline doing his own thing rather than just being in Florida doing whatever he's doing.
Well, it's so silly for the guaranteed money to be what's holding this up, because looking at Hendrickson over the last, since the 2018 season, injury in 2019. Actually, I'm not even sure if he was starting. He only had 3 starts in 2019, but played in 13 games. But since 2020, I mean, he played a full 15-game season in 2020, 16 in 21, 15, and then 17 in the last 2 years. It's a guy I'm not worried about getting hurt. I mean, give him the first couple years guaranteed money like you would any other contract, and then, get the deal locked up so you don't have the distraction in camp.
Yeah, and he's the sack king too. I think the last 2 years he has the most sacks in football. I know he's a little up there in age, like what people like, 30 years old and whatnot, but it's not that big of a deal. I don't think if you give him a 3-year contract, he's 33, whatever it's going to be, in the first 2 years are fully guaranteed. Why not? I mean, he's earned it. You definitely need him. The Bengals definitely need him. Shamar Stewart, he's been looking pretty bad in practice. I know they just drafted him, finally got him on the sideline, on the field, I mean. So they definitely need Hendrickson to be out there.
Well, I want to be honest. Age 32 season for Khalil Mack, 17 sacks. I'm now worried about Trey Hendrickson coming off the edge at 30 years old. I think he's good until 33, 34 years old, at least in his prime, that is. So I don't think there's any issue on that age. I know I was following it pretty closely. I kind of fell off because nothing was happening, but I was following it pretty closely because there's a lot of talks about the Bears making a deal to bring Hendrickson over to get that missing piece that we need on the edge. But obviously that's not happening.
Chris, any concern that the Commanders don't get a deal done with McLaurin? He wants something around 33 million per year, 30 to 33 million per year is what he's asking for. I don't think that's a bad price, honestly. You pay him now while Jane Daniels on his rookie contract so that you have that's your piece. He's been a great receiver since he's been in the NFL. He's been around the DK Metcalfs, AJ Browns type receivers. I think he should get paid where they're at.
No, I agree with you. I mean, he's earned it, and also like, you don't have much in that receiving room. I mean, you have Deebo Samuel that's looking rough. We'll see what he does. Maybe a new team, new environment pulses him up a little bit more. Noah Brown and then Baby McCaffrey. So, I mean, the wide receiver room's it's very slim on talent-wise. So, I mean, Scary Terry has to get paid.
Yeah, I think this is going to be kind of like Mike Evans a couple years ago, where he waits till like the last week, and I think he does get paid. I mean, it'd be silly, like Doc or something like Hendrickson, for example. I think it'd be silly not to pay your number one wide receiver. I mean, without him, I don't think Daniels has to the heights of the season he would have. So I think that he's needed to be there on the field for Daniels and whatnot. So I think he gets paid. I think that the Commanders, it's not Dan Snyder. I think it's, the new ownership. They will figure it out. They will get it. It's kind of new for them too. They're learning how to deal with NFL personnel and players. So I think it gets done in due time. Doc, you want to add on to that one? Or we?
Yeah, no, I mean, nailed it. It has to get done. It has to get done. Without Scary Terry, Deebo is a shot in the dark right now. We don't know what's going to happen, after falling off last season. You take Terry McLaurin out of the picture, and I mean, the Commanders are just not going to have the year. A quarterback is not on his own, well, except for Patrick Mahomes, because he hasn't had a receiver since Tyreek Hill left. But yeah, I think Washington has got to find somebody. Otherwise, you might as well just convert him to RB1 and let him use his legs.
Let's move on to the injuries. Something big going on. Chris, you brought it to my attention. Well, Jake started off, but you brought the big stuff. The Miami Dolphins lost corner Kader Kahu. Nickel corner is what he's slated to be. All new 5 members now on this team this year will be a new secondary starter. Now, they brought Fitzpatrick back. Used to be a Dolphin. That's good, but he's new to the system. He's new to the scheme. So are the Miami Dolphins, especially in the secondary, but on the defensive side, are they going to be in trouble? Now, they do have Jalen Phillips. They do have Bradley Chubb. And I forgot who they drafted last year, but, stud pass rusher there, too, from the first round. So the Miami Dolphins on trouble on the defensive side.
I mean, the secondary completely got gutted. You're bringing all new guys. You hit on it. I mean, Fitzpatrick's coming in, which is going to be a big boost. Another thing, their safety, Ashton Davis, left practice yesterday on crutches. So, I mean, early reports that it's not anything crazy, that he might miss a little bit of time, but is a little bit of time just off season, or is it going to go into the season? So, I mean, the secondary is going to be rough right now. So, Anthony Weaver has some work to do on the secondary.
I think, Doc, it's going to come down to the pass rush. The other guy was Chop Robinson. For some reason, I was thinking Tank. But no, Chop Robinson, with Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, they drafted Kenneth Grant this year. The defensive front, especially the front four, they got to figure it out when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. They got to bail out the secondary. They got to get to the QB under 3 seconds. They got to get him backpedaling, scrambling, doing something to cause trouble for the defense.
They got to do something to get this, to get the boys out, get pressure on the quarterback, create the situations they want. They've lost a lot this season, and it's tough having new guys coming in here. But if the scheme works and everything is right, then you can make it work. But losing starters, 2 guys coming out right off the rip. Hopefully Ashton Davis isn't out for too long on the crutches. Kader, that's a tough loss for him. It's tough bringing new guys in and then everybody getting hurt. So this is football. This is what happens. And, you got to hope that the system that you put in place works and guys can plug and play. And ultimately, that's the idea. But we're going to see what happens.
And it really hurts Chris because the offense side, they have the issues with Tua. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill have been banged up too last couple of years. So it is a problem. If the defense can't stay healthy, it's going to put even more pressure on Tua to stay healthy, and Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill as well.
Yeah, I mean, anything that happens in the defense is going to creep its way into the offense. I mean, if the offense can't stay on the field, it's going to hurt the defense. I mean, it goes either way. So, I mean,
Yeah. Let's move on to another injury. Our boy Luke Rule, he was sweating bullets. He was sweating, Chris, when you said this in the chat. Isaiah Likely, one of their two tight ends, that heavily used a lot last year. He went down, and they carted him off, and reports came out that it was just a small foot fracture. He's going to get surgery, and he's only going to miss 6 weeks. Now, that does put him on the questionable side for week 1, maybe miss week 2 as well, but very, very a very big bullet they dodged there. So, but do you think this can linger into the season as well?
definitely. I mean, this is like the very far end of it. But I mean, look at Michael Thomas. I mean, he hasn't played fucking 3 years, and it's because he broke a fucking bone in his foot. So I mean, it could definitely linger, especially if they push him to come back. But I feel like the Ravens aren't in the position to push him because luckily you have Mark Andrews.
And you have Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Like, you have an offense that can survive without.
RB1 and RB2. Yeah, they can.
Oh,
they
I
can
call
do
them I call them 1A, 1B. I wouldn't. But.
No, but I mean, the other thing you gotta remember too is, he's missing camp. That's a big deal. He's missing getting out there with the guys, doing the reps, going through the motions, gelling with the offense. Thankfully, the offense is about the same returning, so shouldn't be too much of a loss. But this is where you look at situations like the Dolphins missing this camp is crucial, right? And honestly, it's crucial to miss it in any situation. But he's at least a little bit more fortunate. But a second-year guy coming out, and honestly, he's turned in. Last year, I mean, he pretty much stepped into that tight end 1 role. I know that they still had Andrews out there, but the numbers don't lie. Like they had an incredible season last year, and it looks like that's where they're kind of motioning to. But missing. This is crucial time that they're missing. So it's not just is the injury going to play a part as the foot being bad going into the season, but also how is he going to step in and be ready to go?
Yeah, the Ravens definitely need Andrews to do what he did the second half of the season. I'm pretty sure he had a touchdown, I think, in every game the second half of the season, like down the stretch. And unfortunately had the bad game in the division round for them. But like Chris and like you were saying too, Doc, the Ravens are so set up with this offense that without Likely, even for the first week, maybe 2 weeks, it's not going to do much. Now, they do play the Bills, and I do believe I forgot who week 2 is, but I know like the opening part of the season isn't the easiest. But I do believe Lamar Jackson's capable enough to do the job. The defense looks like it got better. So I think the Ravens should be fine.
Defense definitely got better. They got some steals in the draft.
And they got Jair Alexander. If he's healthy and if he could play a full season, that's a steal. I mean, I get it. He's had his injury history, but the Ravens appear to be on the right track. Obviously, hopefully, Likely. Don't want to see anyone get hurt, but hopefully Likely's back, boys. Chris.
I mean, the big thing that we're not talking about either is that I'm trying to pull up Mark Andrews right now. It looks like both of them are free agents next year too. So, I mean, they're both going into their contract year.
Andrews and Likely?
Likely,
that's
yeah.
That's what I'm seeing. It says
25.
He ain't paying them both. It says 2026 Mark Andrews undrafted. Looks like both of them are free agents next year.
Yeah, I mean that is big. I believe they're only going to keep one. I mean Andrews is older. I mean they probably.
I think they're going to move on from Andrews. If Likely can come back from this injury and play like he did last year, and Andrews, especially if he continues to struggle like he did last year, they're going to part ways. It's going to be like a Cole Kmet, Colston Loveland situation.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that Andrews, I mean, he's still young enough to get a decent contract on like a contender, or even if he wants to be on like a younger team that just wants to throw some money around.
He'll be like a Zach Ertz to Arizona situation,
Yeah, which is, and obviously Ertz what he's doing now on his third team. But Chris, I was going to say a team in your neck of the woods, the Cleveland Browns, man, they are an interesting team. Just one of two stories we're going to talk about, but an injury. They lost their boy, Martin Emerson Jr. with an Achilles injury, and he's a big piece, but for a team that, a lot of rebuilding they're going to be doing. So this is a big loss for the Cleveland Browns as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to definitely hurt the depth to them. I mean, they still have Ward out there. They still have Greg Newsome out there. So it's not like they lost one of their big studs. I think their depth is definitely going to be tested. on a defense that does not need to be tested. But I mean, same thing as the Dolphins. I mean, that front line is going to have to help them out.
Yeah, it's gonna have to help them out big time. Once again, they drafted a player, the first rounder as well, when they traded back at 5. So, the Browns. Let's talk about Doc. I'll open this one with you. Speaking of the Cleveland Browns, there's reports that one of the 4 quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, will either be traded or cut. Who is the odd man out? We're about a month away from it being final roster cuts. Who's the odd man out when it comes to it?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer for me, man. It's Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett hasn't found a home. He hasn't found his footing in the NFL. This is I forget what the term they use for players that go from team to team to team to team.
Journeyman.
Journeyman, yes. Yeah, Kenny Pickett's going to be a journeyman. You've got to keep Flacco for the simple experience.
Leadership, yep.
Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel can learn so much from this guy the same way that AR should have, but I think he just can't figure it out. He's going to be a journeyman here shortly when the Colts finally realize what they've got. But you got 2 rookie quarterbacks that you drafted this year. Let them battle it out. One of them, they push each other. They feed off each other. One of them should be able to rise to the occasion. You got Joe Flacco to hold it down for a year or 2. Let them learn until one of them's ready to step into it.
Chris, I think it'd be silly, and it'd be kind of out there to draft Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel in the 5th round, and I believe the 3rd round that they drafted him in, just to trade him or cut him. Now, if you trade him, that's one thing because you can get some value out of him. But I just think it'd be crazy to cut one of the rookies.
That's the thing. There's nobody. Trade is off the table for me. For Kenny Pickett, maybe you get a trade return or cash consideration or something because, again, it's a journeyman. A guy's got experience. Nobody's going to be willing to give anything up for a rookie just because they got drafted 3rd or 5th round, whatever the case is. Like, I'm not trading nothing for a rookie that I have no idea what they can do.
And I do think it's Pickett. I agree with you too, Doc. I think Pickett is the odd man out. Maybe some team, we've seen it right after the 3rd preseason game, they do trade for a veteran just to have him. Like, for example, I know when Justin Fields went down, there was those reports like Kirk Cousins was named for the Jets. Kenny Pickett could have been named for the Jets. I believe a team will trade for Kenny Pickett. Or if not, he will be signed before week 1 just to get him as emergency quarterback.
Yeah, but what do you got to lose, right? Kenny Pickett isn't going to be your answer if Joe Flacco goes down. We know that. All right, because we've seen it before. So why not let the young guys take a shot?
Chris, you think the odd man is out those 4?
I mean, it's going to be Kenny Pickett right now because he had an injury, 2 days ago. I don't think he's seen the field since then. The owner came out and said that them drafting Shedeur Sanders was
he looks good. Apparently impressive, by the way.
No, I mean, he looks good. I think both of them look good. I've seen highlights and lowlights of both of them. But the owner came out, said that it was Andrew Berry's idea to draft Shedeur Sanders, which I'm ringing the bullshit bell on that one. Because, I mean, the viral video of Stefanski and Berry sitting next to each other when Shedeur got drafted, neither of them looked happy. Neither of them. So I don't buy in that it's Andrew Berry's idea to draft Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah,
and like you said, a 3rd round pick for Gabriel. I literally drew a blank.
No,
I was about to just call him the Hawaiian kid.
I mean, he is Hawaiian, so I mean,
yeah. But I mean, drafting him in the 3rd round, I feel like that's too much draft capital to cut.
Yeah, especially when they didn't have a 4th rounder too. So back-to-back picks were quarterbacks. So they didn't have a 4th rounder, so they went literally QB. And I don't think Shedeur is going to be cut too, because I mean, like I said, I'm not a big Shedeur Sanders fan. And his college tapes, that does not mean he can't be a good NFL quarterback.
That's the thing. Like Shedeur Sanders, I'm not high on him either. But the ceiling, I think out of all the quarterbacks, I think the ceiling is probably the highest for him. Because the expectations coming in, where he fell on the draft board, I think that his potential to absolutely rise to dominance is the highest for him. I'm not confident that it's going to happen, but I think that his potential growth is we've got to see what we can make out of this.
Yeah.
And like Chris said with Dylan Gabriel, yeah, you gave up a 3rd for him. You're not getting a 3rd in return for him. Nobody else was taking him in the 3rd. So rookie quarterback, we know nothing about him. I'm not giving up a 3rd round pick. So just like Chris said, that's why he's staying.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. Cleveland Browns. I'm not gonna lie. This is the 1 year I don't really watch Hard Knocks. I would love to watch the Hard Knocks this year, just because the QB room. I would like to see how Fancy's handling it and see what's going on. But guys, one more injury. Tyler Guyton, offensive lineman for the Cowboys. Another big, same thing with Isaiah Likely. It was a big scare. He went down. A lot of people thought torn ACL. Just a bone fracture in his right knee. Going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. He should be available week 1 when they play the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia to open the NFL season. So is this a big loss? Because, I mean, he wasn't that big of an offensive lineman last year when it came to production.
I mean, I think any starting offensive lineman is going to be a big hurt for you. And then especially like you have a bone fracture, you miss 4 or 6 weeks, but still like these guys are getting fucking pounded over and over again. So how well is it going to hold up actually?
No, I agree. I mean, I like I said, this is not a guy that played that well last year. So him missing time, like Doc mentioned when it came to Isaiah Likely, it's big because guess what? This is a first-year system. Well, I mean, no, man, it's the same offensive coordinator, so it's probably the same system. But he's the head coach, so he's gonna have a lot more emphasis on what's going on. Mike McCarthy had a big hand in what was going on in the offense last year. So now a new head coach, it's very key that he is out there to learn the scheme, learn the system that is going to be going on in Dallas.
Yeah, I don't think this is that big of a deal. I think you could put a brick wall on that offensive line. It's not going to make much of a difference. Jerry Jones isn't going to do anything to replace him. We've already seen how hot he's been in the free agent market. All he's probably going to talk shit to Guyton. He's probably going to talk shit to Guyton like he does everybody else on his team, and that's it. They're not going to make any moves to replace him. They're not going to hire anybody or sign anybody. I mean, because Dak is making, 40, 50 million a year, and apparently
60
excuse me, 60. But apparently that is their salary cap, and they can't afford to pay nobody else anything. So they're going to do nothing, and they're probably going to put one of those blow up, like you see on a paintball range. Probably just put one of those up there and hope that it takes an extra half a second for somebody to get around that, so Dak can get some time to throw the ball.
Yeah,
I mean, talking about the Cowboys going in Jerry Jones and everything. I mean, the Cowboys have been a fucking mess.
Yeah.
You go Jerry Jones talking shit about your star defensive player
and quarterback,
calling him Michael, then saying that he was hearing louder cheers to pay CD last year than he's hearing cheers to pay
Mike
Parsons. Yeah.
Michael Parsons, right?
I was literally about to call him Michael.
Think about it.
Michael Parsons, yeah.
I had to think about it. I was like, I know his first name's not Michael. And then you have all the fights happening in camp. There's a video today.
Ending practices.
Yeah, there's a video today of Brian making all of them run sprints because he was tired of it. So
I got to see that.
Yeah,
I didn't see
they
that.
were out. They were all out there, and all I could think about was like, imagine making grown men getting paid millions of dollars for run sprints like high school.
And imagine you're making 20, 30, 40 million dollars a year and you're like, fuck, I have to do this. I'm making the money that I shouldn't, but I have to.
I'm running because my idiot teammates are over here acting like, and it's okay to fight. Like, I mean, we don't.
Everybody has fights.
Yeah, like, but
Chiefs are having fights. The Saints are having fights.
But like this fucking team,
scuffles.
This team is a fucking dumpster fire, man. Jerry Jones is getting to the point that he's got to let go.
It was a dumpster fire once they named Brian fucking Schlosshagen as head coach. Yeah, man shouldn't have. No way this man should be a head coach.
He could be a 1 or 2 year experiment, and then they're moving on. I mean, you never know. So.
But you've got talent in enough places where you should be competing.
No, where? What talent?
I mean, you've got a wide receiver. And their offensive line is typically homegrown and very, very good. You got Parsons. You got
well, I would say Doc. I wouldn't say
what's
this year.
Bland on the corner side that should be coming back.
I would say Doc. Usually, maybe the last 5-6 years, they had all the talent when Zeke was in his prime, when he was balling. They had all the talent in the world then. And
they don't right now. You're right. They don't. I take that back. They don't right now because they haven't done shit to make moves.
Yeah, they have a couple big names
in the free agency. Yeah, and that's the thing is, if the offensive line is what it has been historically for the Cowboys, in the last decade, where it's homegrown and corn-fed boys very good, you get somebody good opposite of Michael Parsons. That's with an L. Michael Parsons. I know they lost. Who was the guy that had the neck injury? Vanderboss.
Vanderbosch. Yeah, he
Yeah.
retired.
Yeah, they lost. He was a big loss for them. But these guys are leaving, retiring, whatever, and Dallas is doing nothing to fill these holes, nothing to get talent back to replace this shit. And Jerry Jones is sitting here blaming it on Dak Prescott's contract. What's the
By the way-
excuse for all the other teams then?
By the way, Jerry Jones, you gave him the contract. Like, yeah, I get Dak fought for the contract, but you as the owner gave in.
Either way, this ain't the only quarterback making money. What's the excuse for the Ravens? What's the excuse for the Bills? What's the excuse for the Chiefs? They restructured the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes' contract, so they can sign because they had the same shit going on.
Josh Allen took a team-friendly deal too, but Lamar, Lamar's big number hasn't actually hit yet. His is coming. But let's move on. Let's move on to a coach that should make his players run like the Dallas Cowboys. Let's talk Chicago Bears. There's been a lot of reports. A lot of reports that the offense, Caleb
Ben is
Williams
getting in it.
and Luther Burden are having issues learning the offensive scheme. Caleb has struggled. He's gotten taken out as a starter. Burden came back after missing time because he was injured. And instead of trying to get Burden corrected, he said, no, fuck that. You can go sit on the sideline and watch. So are we overreacting, is the media overreacting to the offensive struggles year one with Ben Johnson, by the way, or is it warranted where the Bears should be talked about right now?
So this is definitely overreacted by the media. So when you say Caleb Williams got benched,
They took him out, and they took him out of the start, and let Tyson Bagent come in because Caleb was struggling.
Okay, because there was another thing a while ago in OTAs where the offense got pulled, and it was like Ben Johnson came out and clarified, like, no, the second team has to get their reps. Like, we only had like a minute and a half to do it. Like, we just put them in there. It was completely blown out of proportion. Luther Burden, by the way, is also seeing the field for the first time since returning from an injury. I'm not worried about that. Like, study the playbook, but you still got to get out there and do it in motion. That's a big difference in looking at the playbook. I'm not worried about him. He's also a third-string wide receiver right now. Not worried. This is an offense that is being revamped to the likes we've never seen before in Chicago. Like, this is an offense that's actually aimed to put points on the board. Chicago, Baltimore before Lamar Jackson, is historically a defensive team. The Monsters of the Midway specifically talking about the defense. We've never been a high-producing offense. I think our highest quarterback yardage, it was either Caleb last year or I forget the guy.
You never had the only team without a 4,000-yard pass.
Right. No, our highest was like 3,500 yards. I think it was Jay Cutler. No, it was Jay Cutler or somebody from the 80s. I forget. I got to look it up again. But we've never been an offensive team. The only thing that we've ever had to us is Walter Payton. So we're coming in here now when you've got guys, veterans that have been on the team for a long time. Cole Kmet's been on the team for a long time. And all of a sudden it's like offense is priority this year. Holy shit, what are we going to do? You've got to learn the system. You got to learn what it means to be an offensive team, and I'm not worried about it.
I'm not worried, Chris. I'm not worried either because I know we like to give Doc shit. We give all our team shit, but it's his second year in the league, and it's a second system he's learning. So it's like if it's a rotating door. Now I think this offense is going to stick eventually. It might take a couple weeks in the regular season as well. We'll see how preseason looks at the same time, but this offense might have some struggling pains through the season. That is typical for a brand new, especially a young quarterback, but a brand new offensive scheme for a young QB.
Yeah, I mean, I might be the biggest Caleb Williams fan behind Doc right now.
Oh yeah, you need to be.
I mean, I need to be. But I mean, we're not in practice. We can't see what practice. All we see is these Twitter videos that the media is posting. But I mean, it's hard to think, like, is it deja vu of the Bears mishandling another franchise quarterback? Like, we saw what happened in Justin Fields. Like, but also, caveat, like y'all explained, that it's a new system. It's Ben Johnson coming in and trying to incorporate a pass-heavy offense, which
which we've never had.
A two tight end system. He's trying to get these running backs trying to get Swift back to being relevant again. Probably trying to get Roshan to becoming something. So he's trying to get his imprint like he had in Detroit.
Monning High
What was
is
it?
turning heads in camp.
Who?
The 7th round pick, Monning High, the running back.
Okay, he'll be on the special teams this year. Maybe get plenty of time.
No, he's turning heads.
No, but that
He's
happens. Like
impressive.
usually guys that impress, they'll start in special teams and then they'll work their way up. I mean, it happens. But Doc, I wanted to ask you before we jumped off: is Ben Johnson being too mean by yelling at these players? Now, we saw an example last year with the Saints interim head coach. You know, the guy, I forgot his name, but he was a special teams coach when he was yelling at the Saints players. Is Ben Johnson being too mean?
I haven't seen Ben Johnson's reactions. I haven't seen anything about him yelling at him. But a side note from looking at the new offense, I mean, it's also a new head coach coming in here. Like, it's not just a new head coach; it is a head coach new to head coaching.
Yeah.
So he's not just pulling his guys to the side in offense. He's now responsible for everybody on the field at a greater level. He doesn't have Dan Campbell that he's looking at like, hey, Dan, break up the fights, handle this, handle that. Like now it's on him. So the pressure is there where he's got to execute, and he's getting paid like $20 million a year as a head coach. So the pressure is there that you've got to execute. So, coming out here, it's going to be a learning curve for him and how to handle the situations and how to communicate with the players as a head coach versus an offensive coordinator. I will to answer your question, I'll have to look at the shit and see. I don't know what the severity of it was.
And I'll say, you mentioned Dan Campbell. It's a good example. Being next to Dan Campbell for those many years, he probably saw how intense and how emotional Dan Campbell was as a head coach. I guarantee Dan Campbell is not sitting there talking nicely to his players. I mean, Dan Campbell kind of comes off as an old school coach. Like, he comes off the kind of guy that's going to yell. He's yelling when they win. Like, you see how passionate he is when they win. Imagine when they're messing up in practice. I mean, he's probably screaming at them.
Fuck it, let him yell. Practice is also different than a televised game, but that's why a lot of that shit usually gets ironed out in practice when it's away from cameras. But fuck it, let him yell. Throw the goddamn chair at him.
Yeah. Well, guys, when this episode comes out, it will be coming out that it is a Hall of Fame game tomorrow. How excited are we? We're going to apparently see Armand Hampton. We're going to see Trey Harris. The Lions not playing their first 2-round players, but the Chargers are playing their depth guys. We're going to see Trey Lance play the whole first half. We're going to see DJU, former Florida State legend, playing the second half, most likely the whole half. So how excited are we to see some of these young players and these depth pieces for the Chargers and the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm going to be honest, I'm not. Even the young guys coming in here, they're going to be playing like fifth-string defenses. I'm going to watch just because it is football, but I have zero expectation. I don't expect anything to come from it. This is like any other preseason. It means absolutely nothing. Your third string is better than my third string. That's all it means.
Bet the over. 32.5. That's all. That's my caveat. Bet the over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see Trey Lance, see what he can do, what Harbaugh was able to make of him this offseason. Harris, I was big on him at Ole Miss. So, I mean, but like Doc said, I mean, it's people are going to make what?
I'm sorry, did you say Florida State legend DJU?
Oh, you're a little late there. Yeah, I mean, damn, was I lagging? Am I lagging?
It's one of those things that are just so wild and off the wall that you're like, hold up, wait a minute. Did I just hear that 5 minutes ago, right?
Oh, he was a legend. There was a lot of talking points we had about him last year.
Oh my God.
Legendary it was for us to talk about him last year. We did a lot of talking about DJU last year.
Oh, I got PTSD, that motherfucker.
A lot of talk. But yeah, no, excited to see Harris. And then Hampton, I mean, I doubt we see him very much.
You might see him for a drive, maybe two. His over-under rushing yards is 14.5. I kind of just want to bet the over with him and then bet the over with Trey Lance's passing yards and just say, fuck it. But it's preseason, and it's scary to do that stuff.
I mean, it takes one breakout run to get the over 14 yards. So
yeah, but it also takes 1 3 and out, and then they're done for the day.
Yeah,
that's also very true.
And you're not getting your money back if they're getting benched. Like that's you're betting at your own risk there. But guys, let's talk about another rookie that's been impressive in camp, Travis Hunter, real quick, because this is not time to fantasy football. He's played defense and offense, and he's looked impressive on both sides of the ball. So, what do we think Travis Hunter's role is going to be with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Duval?
This is going to be a hard one. I truthfully think he'll start out as a wide receiver. He might have or might have special packages as a wide receiver, but I think he's truly going to be a corner.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
think
that
he's not going to be able to play both sides all game like he did in college. Completely different competition across from him.
different speed.
Yeah, it's going to be
I think
completely
he
different.
plays. Yeah, I think he plays corner, but I think he plays like 75%, maybe the key plays on offense because you could come in from here and there. You can't be tired on defense. You could be a little tired on offense and still make it work. Playing defense while backpedaling, that's the issue. So I think he plays a lot on defense. He comes in on like maybe the big plays on second and third down for your offense, at least to start. Unless he's killing it. I mean, I don't know. They've been taking a lot of reps in practice, and he's been looking very, very impressive.
I think that they're going to start it. Like Chris said, there's going to be special packages, but I'm telling you, as the season goes on, this is a harder journey in the NFL than it is in college football. Playing at Colorado in the Big 12 is significantly slower, less skill, everything else, than playing in the NFL. The wear and tear is going to break him down. I don't think he's going to be able to sustain. This is not the football of the 90s, early 2000s, where it was harder hits allowed, but the game is just played differently now. Even if they try to get him in on 75% of the offensive plays, his body will break down. He will Shohei Ohtani himself like he did for the first 3 years. And even like he's still doing, trying to get on the mound. It's just, it's not going to work out. I'm not confident. I think he's going to stay as a corner.
I'm rooting for him, though. He's the only guy in Colorado I actually truly liked, like to a degree. And I would like to see it. I would like to see Travis Hunter actually play there. I'm actually excited for the Jaguars. I said that to Luke when we did the AFC South. I believe the Jaguars this year are a 9-win team. Fall just short of the playoffs. And I do think, because I think Travis Hunter is going to get some key time. And with that being said, with Travis Hunter and fantasy football, we're going to time this real quick. I just did a live draft last week. He was the 78th overall pick, which was right there in the middle of the 7th round. Where should people be looking at when it comes to drafting Travis Hunter in a full-point PPR league?
Do your research.
I'm the type of person. I mean, I think we're getting into fantasy a little bit later in this episode, but like after I fill up my main slots, I start looking at ceiling and not a safety net. And I think Travis Hunter does have a big ceiling. So
yeah, do your research and look at the reports and kind of how they're leaning as far as corner versus wide receiver and where he's going to play the biggest impact, because like any player, the last thing you want is for him to get hurt because he's playing both sides of the ball. But on top of that, you don't want to draft a receiver that's now like, hey, week 2, we've announced that Travis Hunter, we're just going to keep him exclusively to the defensive side of the ball and wasting a 7th round pick on how many rounds did you draft?
15 rounds, and he fell in the 7th round. He was like
so
halfway point.
Just before the halfway point, you've just wasted a huge draft pick on a potential. And I'm not talking about a rookie that we know is going to play wide receiver. You're talking about a rookie that you're hoping is going to be getting some reps on wide receiver.
I would say if I can get him as my flex player, maybe I would be tempted. Like, I think 7th, 8th round is a good spot for him. I don't want him as my wide receiver too. I would like him as a flex because if I can hit on another running back or a running back for a 3rd one and maybe a 4th receiver, it'd be worth it, because you never know what the second half of the season is going to be. If they're in a playoff push, he might play some more games. Playoff push means playoff push for you as well in your fantasy league. By the way, you're not getting points for interceptions unless he's an IDP.
That's what I'm saying. If he's there around 11 or 12, I might pull the trigger.
Oh, if he's around there 11, 12. I don't think in our league he's getting past. I don't think he's getting 11th or 12th round. I think he's going to go somewhere maybe around 7 to 9. And I still think it's a fair value.
Somebody's going to get him before me then, because I'm not going too early on him.
Well, let's talk fantasy football. Oh, sorry, Chris, what's that?
I was just going to say the thing that I hate about Travis Hunter on the offensive side is the guy that's aligned next to him. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is just going to be a ball hog and get a majority of the targets.
I mean, they could. I mean, like you said, could Trevor Lawrence support 2 top 15, 2 top 20 receivers? That is yet to be seen in his career. So we don't have any evidence to show that he can support that neither. So Brian Thomas,
you got to get to a top 15 quarterback first.
I would say Trevor's in the top 15, maybe just barely. And I think Liam Cohen is going to turn this team around. But let's talk a little fantasy football. So, guys, just some things, some little tips and trades. Not too much, but what are some things you like to do in the draft? What are some things you like to avoid? Maybe players this year you don't want to draft. Maybe players you're maybe trying to get at a steal. Anything.
I mean, I think like what I said, like after round 10, you draft ceiling, don't draft safety net. And then also, I look for the people that actually do this for a job and don't do a bullshit podcast like we do. And
Thanks, Chris.
they rank their players on like a tier list. So like you're looking at tiers instead of just players. So like your tier 1 wide receivers, your tier 2s. So like when you get into like a situation where you need to draft a wide receiver, you pick out the top tier you have.
Well, coming from a fantasy football champion in our league and a dynasty champion, I would say
I got 2 rings also. Not dynasty yet.
you're working your way up, but I would say a good QB receiver stack is also really good too. If you can get like your CeeDee Lamb in the first round, I know Dak, we will rip on him, but Dak, when he's healthy, is a top 10 fantasy quarterback. And it's usually been an every other year thing now with him. So if you get a Dak and a CD and Dak stays healthy, that is great for you in your league. Now, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, for example, that's a good one. I know the Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown combination was a thing a couple of years ago, but since they got Barkley last year, they became focused mainly a running team that took away AJ Brown's stuff. I also say avoid the Buccaneers receivers. But if you do get one, draft Baker Mayfield somewhere in the 7th, 8th round. I say good QB, good wide receiver stack, maybe a good QB tight end stack too. If they're out there, not a bad idea to do because you double up on your points right there.
Love me a good stack.
Oh yeah, good stack. And don't overreach on quarterbacks. They're not the end all be all.
I'm going quarterback first round.
Do it.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's why you were in last place last year in your first year.
Opening the floodgates, baby.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, we had QBs go in the 2nd round, in the 3rd round. I mean, this office draft I did, and I was like, that's just too early for me. I just don't like it. I think the earliest I've done was Josh Allen when I got him in the turnaround round 3 and 4, but it was rounds 4 and 5. It was the end of the 4th going to the 5th. So I stacked right there with him and Gabe Davis that year. So that's always why I did it. If I can get a good stack, maybe I'll do it and sacrifice, but I want as many running backs and receivers as I can get. Just whore up on them. Anything for you, Doc?
No, I mean, I just look at the situation, right? Look at the offense that's being run. You want to run heavy, pass heavy. Look at the combination of receiver to quarterback, prior stats, what's changed, how the offensive line is looking. I just kind of look at everything, I guess.
Shit, and draft all your players on the same bye week. Just take the automatic L too. Fuck it. I mean, that's what I say. Take the automatic L 1 week, and then you win the rest of them. You only got one.
Yeah. Draft strictly by bye week. Yep, that's
what I'm saying is like, don't get scared of everyone being on like bye week 8. If everyone's on
that's
bye
what
week
I'm saying.
8,
no, that's a good point. Take bye week 8. Draft only bye week 8. Take that L, and then clean up every other week, and you're going to the chip.
Yeah, I agree. You're going to the chip. But boys, great episode. It was fun. It was fun to get back in here. College football. We're gonna start doing some college football episodes. I think next week we do. It has to be early. It can't be anything after Wednesday. But we got to start getting some college football in there. No, Luke's excited. He said he's excited to do his playoff predictions. It's a little hard to do this year with 12
UCF
teams.
is not going, dude.
Oh, he's not. I don't think he's putting that in his.
I don't think he's putting that in there. We should get some news. We'll get some news this week. Fall camp just started.
Okay.
Oh, like college news. Fall camp just started, so
I can't wait.
Some news in.
We are literally exactly 1 month away from the first full Saturday, the first full slate of college football. Like not week 0, not the Thursday night, not the Friday night. The first full Saturday. The LSU Clemson game.
We're in for a big one.
LSU Clemson, the Battle of Death Valley. Florida State trying to pull off the upset over Alabama, Texas, and Ohio State. We got some big games week 1 on Saturday.
Think LSU's taking Clemson, Chris?
I was talking to Mark about this. I don't know. The track record Brian Kelly has recently, I don't think so.
On those openers, on the Power 4 openers, yeah, that was what was Florida State was 2 years ago?
Well, they were 2 years in a row.
Yeah. Lost
and
Mark
he's
again.
gone.
Lost Mark again.
GG's Mark. See, that 45 minutes is all he was good for. Hit right on the top.
I think I'm back.
There we go.
My fucking internet's been all shoddy, but that's just a sign. Let's end it for the night. So, guys, great episode. College football to come. Can't wait for it. Luke, Doc, Chris, Great episode. I'm Mark Davis, All About the Balls podcast. See you next time for some college football. Thank you for checking out another episode of All About the Balls podcast. We want to thank all of our listeners and supporters of the Sack House. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at the Sack House.